Last week, Mitch Thompson joined Craig and Paul after the Highlanders booked their trip to Grand Junction to be a part of the NJCAA College Baseball World Series. And now, a couple of wins into it. San Jacinto tonight, 8:30 is Central Time, and we're joined by MCC coach Mitch Thompson. You mentioned you love your draw. You're about to play a team that hasn't lost, but they've played one more game. That's a heck of an advantage.
Well, I sure hope it is. We'll find out, I guess, tonight if it is or not. I'd rather be sitting here having played 2 games than having played 3. So we'll take it for sure.
Is there anything more than just the extra games? And of course, if you have to come to the losers bracket, and third-ranked or seeded Crowder obviously is having to try to dig themselves back in it, and whoever wins or loses tonight, is it really all about the pitching staff, or is it much more attrition than just pitching?
No, I think it's more pitching. It's just, we've been fortunate, playing the first day, the first game, and then we had a day off so we could recharge our bullpen. We played again. We could use our bullpen, and then we had another day off. We could recharge it again. And so, we're in pretty good shape. There's only a couple guys on our staff, the 2 starters that we pitched and maybe a reliever or 2 that we threw a little bit more than we wanted to on Monday that aren't available for us. And I think, I think San Jack will have to play another game. They'll be a little deeper into their bullpen than what we are.
How much is it an advantage for your players to be able to also see the team that they're going to teams that they could potentially play mentally without having to play a game in that day?
Well, we've already played these guys. We've already played these guys 3 times during the season, so we're familiar with them. They're familiar with us. We know their kind of coaching style that they like to run. They know ours, how we like to run things. So, it's going to come down to execution. I'm glad that our guys have had a chance to get out here and see the other guys. And what I think that they figured out is exactly what I told them. We will have been battle tested playing the schedule that we play at home throughout the season. And when we get out here to Grand Junction, there won't be anything that we'll see that will blow our doors off, because we've seen it all. We've played them. We've played as good a schedule as we can, and when we do that, we're battle tested and ready for this moment. So hopefully we can continue to play well.
Well, Coach, it sure seemed like that came into play on Monday night, that Indian Hills game. You win 13-11, but big first inning for both teams, and they score a 5 spot in the second inning, but you respond big time in the 4th inning. Just kind of take us through that victory. Seemed like a pretty exciting game.
Well, it was, and I give Indian Hills a really scrappy team, really well coached. They play differently than most teams that we play. They're more of a speed team, a bunt, run, draw, walk, steal a bag, just put pressure on you consistently. 2 strike hit, not going to strike out. And Brady Rose, our starter, wasn't exceptionally sharp, and so for the first time in a long time, we're behind. And behind by several runs and having to go to our bullpen early in the game. And, I'm just really proud of the way our guys battled back. We had to battle back 3 different times to come in there and win the ball game. But I never felt that one time during the game that our guys were like pressing and like, oh my gosh, we're not going to win this thing. I did go up and down the dugout and get after the pitchers and said, hey, we're going to have to throw strikes. You give these guys free base runners, that they're going to beat you. And we just walked way too many guys that day. And so it was a little frustrating, but man, I give us a lot of credit. We fought through it and we won, and they were a good ball club. They knocked out number 1 Wabash. They knocked out, 3-time champion Indian or Iowa Western to get there. So Indian Hills was a good club.
As a baseball man, I know walks would be the most frustrating thing. What is the most frustrating mental or human mistake in baseball?
Well, probably in baseball is just like you say, just giving free base.
Yeah.
The problem with it out here is that, the ballpark it's 302 feet down the left field line. It's 345 or 350 in the gaps. So this is a smaller ballpark to start with. Now you add to it that we're playing at 5,000 feet of altitude, and all of a sudden, those extra base runners that you give them, they turn into runs pretty quickly around here. 13 to 11 score. There was a score the other day here, 24 to 14 for crying out loud.
Wow.
It's you get a little wind going, and at altitude, holy cow, this park plays really small. So, you just got to limit the free bases, limit the free opportunities of people getting on base. They're going to get on base, make them earn every one of them. And if you're going to give up a home run, give up a solo, one not a 3-run shot. So, we'll see if we can do that tonight.
So I know this is simple math, Mitch. If you win tonight, you're the only team left without a loss, right, in the bracket?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, before we play tonight, there will only be 4 teams left. And whoever wins tonight, the only team left without a loss. We're all going to have to keep playing. We'll all play again tomorrow. Play somebody and continue the battle of attrition, knocking people out. Hopefully we can keep on that winning side and bring a trophy home. That's the idea.
Do you guys? I mean, you've been hot before in your career, but this is a hot streak that you're kind of rolling. Do you guys talk about it among the team, or is it just today is San Jack and that's what you got to worry about?
No, we're not talking about, oh boy, we're really, man, we played 20, whatever it is, 20 in a row or whatever. I'll tell you this, I told the guys earlier in the year, if they'll get on board with what we're trying to do and if they'll believe in themselves, we'll put together a winning streak of 20 games or more. And it'd be sure cool to win 23 in a row at the end of the year and win the whole damn thing. So we'll just see. It's one game at a time. It's one pitch at a time. And if you'll take the game like that, then you sometimes look up when you have a talented team and you do put together a 20-game win streak or something. That's the big thing. So.
Coach, I was just wondering, being out there in Grand Junction, this is the last spot for this team, no matter, if you win the title or if you come back to Waco without the title. But even though you're so busy and even though I'm sure you're watching a lot of baseball and game planning, are you able to kind of soak up those moments with your players and staff kind of knowing, hey, this is the last run that we're on right now, or are you just so focused on the goal that you can't really do that?
Well, I think every one of us, we have some different family members and things that are here too, and we're trying to spend a little time and enjoy the moment with them. I mean, you got to do that, right?
Right.
But we're watching a lot of baseball. When we can get to the ballpark and watch the other guys play, we're doing that, trying to gain more knowledge and more information, and watching a lot of video and trying to be as prepared as we can so we can make good decisions to help these guys be in the right position to win. But we're all getting out. We're seeing the mountains. We're enjoying things, but it'll be bittersweet when it comes to an end, whenever that is.
Mitch, you have had the 2 wins, and then pitching tonight. If things go well, you feel good. You're set up as far as your starting rotation. Obviously, how many games you end up having to play, or if you have to go through another part of the bracket that could affect it, but you feel pretty good about all that.
Yeah, no question. I think that. It's like I said all along, pitching depth is our strength of our team. And, we're in good shape for tonight. And we'll get Logan Henderson back on the mound for tomorrow or Friday, whenever we decide to use him again. And Brady Rose will be available again. So we're in good shape and hopefully we can, just execute and keep scoring runs. That's going to be the key, right? I mean, you just got to outscore people sometimes out here. And like I said, with the ballpark playing the way it does at altitude, it's funny. You got a 10-run rule after 5 and an 8-run rule after 7, and you look up and somebody scored 24 runs in a ball game, and you go, "Really? Are you ever out of it?"
Yeah.
So kind of funny. We'll see if we can limit them to 1 runs at a time and put up some crooked numbers. It'd be sure a lot of fun.
MCC coach Mitch Thompson with us on SicEm365 Radio. We had Arthur Rhodes and help me out, Jason Jennings on the show last week to talk about
and David Murphy
back-to-back days to discuss the new exciting young players and how they celebrate during a game. What does Mitch Thompson think about some of these? Some people like it. It's new. It's infusion. It's youth. Whatever. Well, how does Mitch Thompson look at that?
I'm kind of a little old school, I guess. I'm okay with some spontaneous things. I don't like choreographed stuff. I don't like, we've got a little home run celebration that our guys do when they hit a home run. And you know what? I'm not about to step in their way and say, "Hey, don't do that." Crap, man. I want them having fun at this point in time. So let's go. But Major League Baseball, I think it's a little different. Playing 162 games a year, you better show a lot of respect and a lot of respect for your opponent, or else you'll definitely be humbled quick in that game. So, I don't know. It's a personal preference for folks, and I'm probably on the old school side of things more rather than the new school side.
Oh, they were too. In a lot of ways, they were. Mitch, Arthur Rhodes, can you imagine like Arthur Rhodes or Dave Stewart or Bob Gibson staring you down, or Nolan staring you down the next time you came to the batter's box?
Well, I can promise you against those guys, you weren't going to hit a home run and look at them and thump your chest and then think the next time that you come up, you weren't getting knocked on your butt.
Yeah.
So, but the game's a little different. It's for sure different at the college level. We have very little ability to police ourselves like that. We really depend upon the umpires because, if we try and handle it and guys start hitting people, oh my God, there'll be people losing jobs over that stuff. So you just can't do it.
Yep. Mitch, thank you. Good luck tonight. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for the time.
Mitch Thompson, MCC head coach. They play San Jacinto North campus tonight in Grand Junction. If they win, they move on. They'll be the only team left in the tournament unbeaten, but there are still some good ones. Crowder trying to get themselves through the losers bracket. Here's an example. Crowder lost their opening game to Indian Hills. They got beat up pretty good 10-3. They then come back, have to beat Florence Darlington, and then have to beat Walters State. And then have to, then they play Indian Hills. And if they win, they did. And now they have to play the winner of McLennan and San Jacinto. So they got a long way to go. But they could flip the script if they somehow beat the team that wins tonight. We'll see. And then the team that loses has to go right back down into the losers bracket. When we come back, Bosqueville High School's had a hell of a run. They were down 1-0 in their latest series with Windthorst. They win the series 2-1. They have Lindsay, who knocked out Crawford tomorrow night in the 1-game playoff. And we'll hear from their head coach, David Anderson, next on SicEm365 Radio.
The First National Bank of